This is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Every day, once a day, give yourself a present. Don't plan it, don't wait for it, just let it happen. It could be a new shirt at the men's store, a cat nap in your office chair, or 2 cups of good, hot, black coffee. Like this. A present. Like Christmas. Oh, man, that is the spot. Nothing like a great cup of black coffee.
Hey, what's up? What's up? Quaku? Quaku Nash? Nash. How about Nash? Nash works for me. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Makes all the late hours worth it. You know, I think I gotta rethink how I'm doing this. Not how I want to do it. Give me a second. Layer all this shit through. I want each one layered separately. Hey, what's up, Skull Diamond? Do I have a name for myself? Not really. I mean, like when I'm doing watercolors, I call it saucy, you know, because it has a different look. Sketchcraft? Sketchcraft style. I don't. Chunky? How about chunky style? Chonky. Sometimes I don't draw chunky though, so I don't know. Irrelevant. I don't take myself too serious. You know what I mean? Fun. I think fun would be. That's it. Make fun art. Make fun art. Like I wouldn't draw Daredevil all chunky, so you know what I mean? Maybe 90s. I guess I draw like the 90s. Maybe some of the better parts of the 90s versus the why bother trying 90s. I don't really know why those lines ended up at half opacity. Hey, what's up, Hector? One of these layers has a fucking lock on it. Which is it? Hey, what's up, Kyle? I hit Brandon up. He didn't. I don't know. He's disappeared. So if you want to chat, hit me up on Discord or Skype or whatever, dude. Coolio. Hey, what's up, animation? It's going well. Just trying to get these flats going. They're going to take a little bit more effort than I had planned, so they always do. Uh, blobby shapes, man. I don't. I don't think the shit's easy. If that's what you're wondering. I think I could draw it faster if I was doing it traditionally. You know, it's a little bit more difficult digitally, but given the amount of shit I wanted on these robots and how clean I wanted it, like when I drew the Transformers covers, like these are traditional lines and inks, but like to draw a bunch of Transformers would have been a little bit different. So yeah, you can. I do these practices when I was in college. Like you draw two dots and you ghost the lines and draw with your elbow. So I don't got a lot of time here, but I can. I've covered this before, but like Feng Shu did a Nomon DVD about this back in like 2004. That's where I learned it. So it's like you draw like two dots, you ghost it, right? And then you go like this. So it's actually much straighter on traditional paper than in real life because Photoshop adds a little wobbiness, wobby. So then you go further and further out. Like, and I do that like I did that like every day when I was in college and at work and everywhere in between. So like that helped build confidence, like in the hand, you know. All right, so I don't really know where I want certain colors to go yet on this, so I'm just gonna blob colors in and then clean it up. Shapes, you know? Shapes are kind of where things start. Once you have the shape, you have a container, and then you build into the container. So. If you watch, if you go into the videos up from last night, you can see me drawing over the shapes, you know? Well, you got to know perspective to animate. I did 2D animation in college. I mean, you got to know how to draw within a volume. Like, you want to see the page or the area as a volume, you know, and then draw within it. Similar to like a 3D program, you got to kind of train your mind to see that way. It takes time. But it can be done. I taught myself how to do it, so I can learn it. Believe me, you can learn it. Well, that's you do each element separately and then you composite. Yeah. I first did my 2D animation after playing Ninja Gaiden. I had this GIF animator on a computer and on an old DOS program, and I sat there doing pixel art. DOS. rotoscoping. No, all of my animation had to be done by hand. No tracing. I didn't really enjoy animating, but it made me a better artist. That's why I took it. Some retro throwbacks. Some guy did an HD upres. No, what did he do? It's that guy, he makes 3D versions of like Mortal Kombat and Donkey Kong Country, but he made them look low pixel. Pretty cool. And he did one Donkey Kong Country, so you can zoom out and kind of move around. Thought that was cool. Do I animate for fun? Nah, I like to make things move like in one drawing. I didn't really enjoy it. You know, you got to be really into like spending a month making like 10 seconds of animation, you know? Wasn't quite my thing. I do enjoy animation. I mean, I mostly only watch anime these days. So, but I didn't enjoy it. Plus, I could never get my head around an X sheet. Like, you got to have that sense of time, you know? I mean, I could make it up, but timing out animation and reading it just couldn't get my head around it. I'm not very good with it. What's something that could generally do, for example, camera? Honestly, just being able to like hyper focus on things. Like if you watch Nichijou, like when she's like in one of the earlier episodes of Nichijou, like when they're like she drops her fucking octopus sausage on the ground and being able to like hyper focus. Or like when I watch like Haikyuu, how they're able to like focus and change the dynamics of like volleyball, right? Like so it's enhancing the experience, sort of like pumping up the feeling, being able to express the feeling of something through the animation versus just depicting it as it exists in real life. When people say something isn't realistic, I'm like, realism doesn't interest me. It's the feeling. It's the feeling that matters to me. Yeah. If I want realism, I'll watch sports. Yeah, sometimes my wife, she went to Purdue, so I can watch like college basketball with her sometimes and be like, oh, it's probably because it's imperfect and it's more spontaneous. But I hear you, man. It's not really my thing. I'd rather watch anime sports. Right. Yeah, that's how I was, man. Back in the day, for me, it was like watching Robot Carnival over and over again. Or hey, what's up, Kyle?
Yo, how's it going?
It's going. Just trying to get these flats going.
It's looking nice.
I don't really know, because I kind of made up, like, it's not a 1-to-1 by any measure of the in-game model, so it's like I'm trying to like figure out how do I do this. So easiest thing to do is just to blob everything in and then clean it up after the fact.
How much feedback do they give you on these Megavisions
0.
things?
I told them I accept
Okay.
no feedback unless I royally screw the pooch. The deal is I do whatever I want.
That's a good kind of deal to have.
Yeah. As such, they get a lot more effort from me than they might have otherwise. You see what I mean? Like, it's tit for tat.
I like what's going on in the background.
Oh,
Looks
the
like it.
sunset rain thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got the little droplets of rain and sunset. I don't fucking know what it is. I was in a mood one night and I'm like, that looks about right to me. I don't know what it is. Perfectly honest with you. Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's one of those things that publishers generally wouldn't approve of. Because I can't tell them what it is, you know?
Oh, the background?
Yeah. Like I mean, clients, man, they want you to explain everything. You're like, I don't fucking know. It looks cool. It's how I felt when I did it. Dude, we don't want to hear about your fucking feelings. Like, I know. I tried.
That's really weird. I would expect feelings to be the #1 thing on a publisher's list to inquire about.
No, God, no. Oof. Watched Upgrade. Oh, Upgrade, better known as Venom. Right? Upgrade was the movie Venom. Should have been.
I'm trying to remember if I think I watched Upgrade. I did not see Venom.
Discount. It's a better movie than Venom.
Yeah, I did watch Venom. Or not Venom, sorry. I did watch Upgrade.
See?
Venom I definitely have not seen.
Not missing much.
And in general, I do like Tom Hardy.
Sure. I like George Clooney, but you know, he was in a Batman movie once. Yeah.
The best Batman of them all.
The one with cartoon sound effects. Whoop, woo, zoop. Literally. Fucking crazy.
I mean, it worked pretty good for original Batman.
They didn't even do those kind of sound effects, and they did very few of those sound effects in Space Jam compared to Batman and Robin.
like a literal cartoon.
Yeah.
You know, this is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee.
There's the shotgun.
Speaking of Hardys, I've been watching Devs, which Rob Hardy shot.
Okay.
It's Alex Garland, his new TV series.
Sure. He did a lot of uncredited. He did all the scene directing for this game called Enslaved 10 years ago. Andy
Really?
Serkis did mocap on that too. Yeah. He went uncredited on it, but we covered it at Game Fan and went out to Cambridge to the studio Ninja Theory and they were telling us all about it.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
Interesting.
Every day, once a day, give yourself a present. Don't plan
It was like this post-apocalyptic, but one of the first ones where like instead of apocalyptic, it was like nature like took over everything, you know. So it was pretty. Based off the Monkey King parable, you know. Sort of. Sort of. I say sort of. Like they say that. I'm like, yeah, just like Oh Brother Where Art Thou was based on Homer's Odyssey. Sure. Yeah, sure. How's corn? Is corn? Am I bored? Nah, man. I was born for quarantine. I'm like Captain America. I can do this all year. You know? I'm good, man. Don't worry about my mental health with the quarantine. It's wondering if some asshole's going to come to my door and start coughing. You know what I mean? Like, do I have to shoot people for trying that shit? You know? Some asshole's going to do it eventually. You know that guy. You know what I mean?
Well, there's already one person who went around coughing on food, and she got charged with like some terrorist charge.
Good. Fucking assholes. Nah, I grew up in a house where I wasn't even allowed to go outside, literally. My dad kept all the windows closed, turned on the AC to about 50 degrees during the summer, and would not let me go outside. I can only go outside at night to water the lawn. That's it.
Dude, Armando, I hear you. I'm totally equipped for the quarantine, but I am also so boring. Like, ugh, you have to spend all day with me? This is the worst. Try to tell myself funny jokes. Just like, not funny, man. Not funny.
Yeah, that's life with me. I tell shitty jokes. My wife's like, she's been used to it. It's just,
But now your wife doesn't get a break from the jokes, though.
aside from finding ways, I've refused to use Instacart or whatever because I don't want to put people's like lives in danger. So I've had to get creative with finding ways to get things delivered. But I've found local dairies. Like that, I live out in Idaho, so there are local dairies and stores that will deliver to your house that normally would cook food, but they deliver bulk groceries, you know?
Yeah.
Especially the local dairy. They got fresh milk, eggs, all that shit. So, and they do deliver. So I've been fortunate in that respect. Everything else I got in bulk from like straight distributors. Cost me a little bit in shipping, but I just until every fucking one of these places gives people like N95 masks to go do the shopping for you, you know, I can't put people in harm's way. Like I just couldn't live with myself. So I'm like, fuck it. If I spend $300 on groceries and shipping's $150, then I just eat it. I've just eaten the cost. And it's come out of my savings, but that's what savings are for. So I got a couple 50-pound bags of flour, good for a year. I've become a prepper, right? Like that's the phrase for it, right? One of those dudes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've installed a bunker in your backyard.
That I don't have. I actually, if there's a nuclear fallout, I just want to go on the blast. I did nuclear training in the army, and you don't really want to survive. That's the one part of war games when Falcon's like, I'm near the blast, we'll get obliterated. I'm like, I get it. Like, so, bunkers won't do much for viruses if they're airborne unless you have crazy HEPA systems, which, you know, I don't got the $1 million fucking. Only Ben Affleck can afford that kind of shit, you know?
Maybe Zack Snyder.
Probably Zack Snyder. He got paid.
I feel like he has an island somewhere.
The Snyder Cove. The Snyder Snyder Cove.
And it's glorious.
You can still get games shipped to you physically, you know, through Amazon. Take a little bit longer, but they'll get there. Then you gotta just let that shit sit in your fucking garage for 24 hours and then clean it down with Lysol. I do both. Because I'm paranoid. Started the outline today. Gave me a nice headache. You know when you have to actually commit, you know?
Yeah.
And you write it down the first time, you're like, that sounds so fucking stupid. Like, it all works in my head, right? And it works when you start, like, putting down all the ideas. But then when you have to actually explain it in the most simplest terms to, you know, the theoretical audience, you're like, this sounds so fucking dumb, dude. What the fuck am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
So luckily I've learned on my own to just throw that shit down and I actually blur my vision a little bit, so I just type it. I don't really look at it, you know, like it's just there in its initial state, so I can't like tweak it or hone in or stare at it, you know.
Yeah.
Do you have a process for like blobbing shit down, or?
Yeah, I start writing things down, and then I get distracted and by something else because I hate what I'm doing so much.
Yeah, like I only give myself a certain amount of time, so it's like I can't. Distractions won't. The one thing I could say is like if I get distracted, it's not right in its fucking self. So, you know.
Oh, no, that's why I'm not getting anything completed.
I'm
just like, oh, this is terrible. How do I distract myself from this? And then
Yeah.
9 hours later, I'm like, what? Where am I?
I guess so. Like the way I
What
get
was that?
around that feeling at this point is that I have to allow myself to know it's probably going to be terrible. Yeah. Like terrible is okay. Not complete isn't okay. So I'm not intentionally trying to make trash, but I can, the odds are not always in our favor.
Like I said, though, no matter how bad what we do is, it'll never be Simon Kinberg bad.
Till I go down that path, and you're like, Rob, read that outline. I take it back. Does he even attempt to write like basic goals, motivation, and conflict? Or do you think he just fucking starts typing? He just types, right? He just pantses that shit. He doesn't even like spend a little bit of like, okay, so if they want this and that, like there's no puzzle solving with Kimber, right?
Definitely not.
Doesn't feel like it. Doesn't feel like he ever feels like he's trapped in a corner. I just think he's like, the shit, I fucking killed it. We go on a sizzler. You know?
And just so everybody knows, Rob and I went to Q&A with Simon Kinberg for, was that X-Men Apocalypse?
Yeah, X-Men Apocalypse.
And we're like, and then afterward he was talking, and we're like, no one should ever let this guy touch X-Men again.
You can listen to it if you guys want. It's on a podcast called The Q&A with Jeff Goldsmith. If you go back a few years, Kyle and I were there for that one. But yeah, we were like, oh god.
And we were totally joking about him making the next one and how bad it would be.
Well, I had a theory that he was trying to make the next Fantastic Four movie because it sounded like it. And then when they showed like the X-Men going into space and there's like a astronaut crew, I'm like, I bet you that was supposed to be the Fantastic Four. You know, I bet you.
Yeah.
Didn't have it, but you know.
Yeah. So Rob and I totally called how bad X-Men was going to be before we even knew he was going to make it.
Yeah.
Simon Kinberg. I wish I had his success. Financial success.
Yeah, dude got paid. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, I don't care about getting quarantined for a year or two. You know?
Nope. Maybe that's my problem, Rob. I tried too hard to make something good.
I do think you do. I do think you try a little too hard.
Maybe I just need to make some garbage and.
Even I've told you to make some garbage. Like I'm like, just make some garbage. Like it's okay, you know. Just put down put Kyle Bull or UV Wright on it. You know what I mean? Come with a pen name. Or just be willing to accept the you suck.
I'll just put Kyle on it. Like Kyle who?
Kyle wrong.
Kyle Skywalker.
Kyle Skywalker.
Exactly, Quaid.
That is a problem. Yeah, it's almost like them. It's like a version of imposter syndrome, you know, where it's like, I feel it with my heart sometimes. It's like, you know, nothing I can do is really gonna, especially with design work, like on the games, dude, because I know how many people are gonna fucking see that shit. You know, luckily my name isn't attached to every little fucking thing I do, but you know, like you want people to enjoy the shit they fucking spent $60 on. So it's like, you know, is this shit gonna get people all fucking like excited, or am I like, what the fuck am I doing? Sometimes you draw one thing, it's not even like the one thing that's interesting, it's just the idea of it. Like sometimes there's no real way to draw something. Sometimes I'm not allowed to draw shit at work very well, like because it has to fit a bunch of when I say well, I mean sometimes you can't let like the style overtake the substance. Does that make sense? Because it needs to fit with 100 other fucking things. So the more style something happens to have, the more it pops out. Sometimes they have items that, like, we want this to be cool, but it can't overtake this other shit that's on the screen too, you know?
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's a nuanced argument. I just know it's going to be like, Activision fucking guy says that he doesn't fucking try. Like, no, that's not what I said. You know? But it's like those mobile games where every fucking thing explodes and gives you fucking gold for doing nothing. You know, and you're just like, I don't really feel like this is a game. It's just like a slot machine. It's just shit's going off everywhere. I didn't do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I was playing this stupid word puzzle game the other week. And as I'm playing it, like every couple weeks they do like this tournament thing. I was playing it. I was like, I don't even enjoy playing this game. I'm only playing it because there's a tournament and I don't want this other person to win. What is wrong with me?
That is
Like-
a script. It's a Charlie Kaufman like script, right? you want a good sitting in the room, you know what I mean, in the head of somebody just trying to fucking fuck up his own mobile tournament. Why you text him words of encouragement? You kicking ass, man, and you fucking him over and shit. You got this.
Yeah, Quaid. I'm like, if I ever get something completed and put it out there, it's worst case scenario to be mediocre, but it's not going to be bad. And meanwhile, we got Simon Kinberg over here making like 50 movies, and they're all terrible. He's just like rolling in the money. Like, why is that guy making stuff and not me?
I think the only thing I've ever felt, like honestly felt the problem is I have artist friends and peers who expect more of me for sometimes. You know, they're like, how come you're not doing this book, or you're not drawing turtles, you're not doing this? I'm like, I don't really control what I get to work on. One, and two, probably because I'm not actively drawing comics. Why aren't you drawing comics? Well, because like I spent 4 or 5 years doing it and lost a lot of money and hated life and put on like 60 pounds. So like,
And only got like 4 pages out of it because you draw
Yeah.
too many details.
huh? No, I got everything turned in on time, bro. That's the one thing I
know.
did. I got
I'm
everything
just
turned on
giving you
time. I just killed myself doing it, you know? So it was like, honestly, I wanted to start off drawing simple. They just kept giving me more complex fucking projects. You know, and every time I would turn in simplistic versions, it'd be like, we really want you to do this, you know, I would beg for this simple shit. Give me Hellboy. I'll draw that, you know? And then they're like, we'll give you Hellboy, but he has robotic legs. And there's an army of them. And they gotta fight 700 fucking monkeys. And you're just like, what? You know, like, it's not what I... Damn it. Hey, what's up, Benigo? You're accomplished. Yeah, I got friends who tend to go. You know, it's funny. Even like when you just work on something like Spyro or something that people know, they go, "I don't really play for you know." Oh, okay, I mean, so you like did the art? I'm like, you're an artist. What do you got to draw? I'm like, You got to draw. I mean, like you draw shit so that the modelers know what they're doing. You know? Okay. Yeah.
Like, yeah, but it's not the game.
Yeah, that's exactly it, dude. Like literally, like I was like, that's when I realized, oh, so fucking whatever. You know what I mean? You just can't win sometimes. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just can't win. And you're like, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's like when I did the cover for Game Informer. I went down to a Game Informer to go pick up an issue, even though they sent me some. I just wanted to go down there. You know, and like there it is, and the guy's bundling it up for me. You know, and I have my wife there, and I'm like, you know what? I never do this, but I'm like, you know, I drew that cover, and he just wasn't paying attention. He's like, all right, thank you, have a nice day. And I'm like, all right, I'm out of here. My wife was just like, he didn't hear you. I'm like, yeah, they don't care. You know, I just want to go home. Just want to go home. It's fine. It's fine. They don't care.
Yeah.
It was $297.
Yeah, I think I got 2 or 3 copies of that. I went down to the shop, and that's when they give out for free, right? At
Yeah, it didn't cost you a thing, did it? Right? They just shove them in your face. Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Oh, here you go." I'm like, yeah, my buddy drew the cover. He's like, "You want some extras?" Sure. So he gave me a few.
Yeah, it was this one, June 2017. Drew and colored. That was fun.
I forget, was it a wraparound or was it a fold out?
That's a wraparound.
Okay. Yeah, I get the same thing though. People are like, "Oh, what have you worked on?" I'm like, "A bunch of stupid commercials that you probably didn't pay attention to."
Then I'm like, you know that
really-
you know that making a murderer thing? I drop you all the time on that one.
I shot 1 second of the opening credits.
You know, right before it starts is that last shot. Yeah, that's him. Oh my god, I know that. You know, a lot of people respond to that one though, Kyle. Like, you may not believe it.
It does not pick up the chicks though, Rob.
Well, you're in the wrong game. If you had made the music for that shit, you would have picked up the chicks. You know.
Yeah, probably.
Much better shot if you had made the music.
Then the show I did shoot a ton of the credits for, nobody saw. So.
Which show was that?
It's called Mercy Street.
Never saw it.
It's a PBS. It was like a PBS period medical kind of thing. It takes place like early 1900s or something like that. I don't know. I've never seen the show.
You're like, I've never really seen it.
I've seen the opening credits because I shot most of them, but never seen the show.
It's hilarious.
Like, oh, yeah, haven't you done any movies? I'm like, yeah, but they're all bad. Don't watch them.
You're like, no, man, I turned down Justice League to fucking do Mercy Street. Yeah.
But mostly because I knew Justice League was going to suck because they weren't going to let Snyder do his cut.
You did the original. Well, no, when you worked on it, it would have been the original cut, so you'd signed up for that one.
Maybe. Man, I've been trying to navigate the whole unemployment thing
Mm-hmm.
because they approved independent contractors and stuff to file for unemployment now,
Mm-hmm.
but like their website hasn't been updated, and
They,
their
they want you to come down.
their phone system doesn't work,
Nice.
and they got rid of they like deleted their email address from the website, and so there's like no guidance on how to apply for it, and they hopped on like there's a couple Facebook groups and hopped on Twitter and just like pages and pages of people like we can't get people to return our emails or calls. And it's system's really not designed for people like me because they're like you can fill out the paperwork online and there's like 6 slots for W2s. I'm like I've got like 15 W2s and like same amount of 1099s. It's not really designed for people who work like 3 or 4 days for a company and then all right, next company.
You'd think, given that the state is all the economies in that state is entirely built around it, really. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, so I finally just gave up in the sense that I just filled it all out and it might be all wrong, but I'm at least going to submit it. That way I have a start date, and if there's problems, then they can. Because they keep saying, like, oh, we're working on getting a system in place for gig workers and stuff. So you guys just hang on. I'm like, yeah, but the longer I wait to file, the more weeks that I don't get benefits for.
Exactly.
And I'd like to at least file my W-2 jobs now and collect less money initially. And then, you know, they can adjust it once everything else is in place. But it's just you know, I've never filed for unemployment before. Never thought I'd have to. So I'm like, I don't know how the system works. It's really confusing.
I'm actively looking for work under quarantine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, legally, we can't work. So they're like, supposedly they suspended in California. You don't have to be looking for work because they know you can't be.
This isn't a deadbeat situation, you know.
Yeah, this is the state says we can't work, but then I was reading online. People are like, yeah, they told us we don't have to, but then if we say we didn't look for work, we don't get our benefits.
Always say you're looking for work. I'm looking for work.
I mean, I have enough places I've worked for. I think you have to do like 3 a week or something. So I'm like, I'll just email 3 a week. Be like, hey, you got any jobs this week? No?
I just put down Disneyland. You know what I mean? Let's put like, yeah, I'm looking for work at Disneyland. They're not open, but I'm looking.
No, all right.
Yeah.
Well, you need 3. So Universal Studios.
Not Dairy Farm.
Knott's Berry Farm. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a Six Flags here too. So
Six Flags, Valencia. I don't mind the 3-hour commute. You know.
So that was my fun task for today: is work on all that paperwork and going through all my tax documents and looking at like my spreadsheet of like when I got paid for paychecks. So it's just like,
yeah, my wife does our initial taxes and then hands them over to our tax guy. She has to call all the data, you know. And every year I get reprimanded for using my PayPal account to buy shit versus my business account because she has to fucking figure out what's business and not, you know. And I'm like, well, sometimes people pay with the PayPal. She's like, I'll put that in there, and then every year I fuck it up. Like, so I'm getting ready to hear about that one soon. That's gonna be. I'm gonna make spaghetti that night. You know, that's what I generally do. I'm like, made you spaghetti. Yeah, my bolognese takes 4 hours. It's worth it. Yeah, no, it's berry farm, not scary farm. So, yeah.
Benign Fool is asking if you've ever come across someone who's gotten a tattoo of your art.
Oh yeah, yeah. People get my art tattooed fairly. I don't say it fairly often, but it happens every year. The one that got me the most was one of my best friends from college. You know, I mean, he was like my boy, dude. We worked together at t-shirt places. So we're at sushi. A bunch of friends from college, and we got together. And a buddy of mine's like, show him. He's like, show. So he lifts up his shirt, and it was a skeleton piece that I drew at a t-shirt company that we worked together at. So I made it. I was there making it when he was there, and he got that tattooed like on his rib cage, like half his fucking body. It was crazy. I don't really get tattoos. Like it's not my thing. So I hate people. I have a phobia of people touching me.
Also, you could just end it with "I hate people."
Sure.
Right, Rob?
No, I like people. I just from a distance. Like I was told you I was made for quarantine. This is my jam. You know, I don't like the fact that I feel like we're in a M. Night Shyamalan movie where the wind might kill me. You know, like I do. I walk outside. I'm like, is it in the wind? You know, so that I don't like. But I can stay home. It was funny when they were like in art departments, like Rob doesn't hang out with anyone. I'm like, we're fucking introverts, right? Artists. Like, isn't this why we did this shit? Like, isn't it because we don't hang out with people? Now I'm getting clowned at at an art department for not being social. Get the fuck out of here. Problem is, so a lot of the artists that I work with were like DJs, so like art was a secondary thing. And then they all had their albums and they were doing DJ shit at night. Like, what are you doing tonight, man? What clubs you going to? It's called the Club of Rob's Room. I'm gonna go fucking home and draw. You know, like I don't make music, man. I'm boring. Sorry.
Me too. Hey, Kyle, you work in film. What do you do for fun? Like, I watch movies.
I collect spores, molds, and fungus.
Eh.
Kyle didn't like the movie.
What movie?
Ghostbusters.
Which one?
The first one. I collect spores, molds, and fungus.
Oh, yes. Trying to remember if I've ever heard your opinion on Goonies, Rob.
I loved it.
Okay.
Still like it. It's fun. I love that. If that movie were made today, they would have had like skeletons coming to life and all sorts of stupid shit. Like, it doesn't have any of that, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. Like, great opening too, man. Like, people forget the opening. The whole like bank getting out of the fucking jail and then being chased around town by the cops and shit. And he actually has Indiana Jones hat on. Yeah, it's actually Indiana Jones's hat. What movie do I think they should remake next? No Holds Barred. I don't even know why I said that. That was buried deep in the subconscious.
What do I want to see remade?
The Care Bear movie.
Garbage Pail Kids? Soylent Green.
Did you watch the original one yet?
Of what?
Garbage
Pail? Not yet.
Oh, there's gonna be a fun night for you.
I don't think anywhere streaming it, so I just haven't made the effort to watch it.
Legitimately one of the worst movies ever made. Yeah.
I think something that should be remade is Masters of the Universe. Except they should remake it good.
Right now, some producer's like, God damn it, Kyle. You know what I mean? Just tosses his clipboard and shit. Simon Kinburn's like, fucking dick. You know, like, it's this close. I had a script ready to go. Took me longer to make these pizza rolls.
Though to be fair, I did watch a couple episodes of the original He-Man.
Oh, not good.
Such a bad show.
Oh yeah, not good.
Like,
Not good.
I now understand why my parents were like, "Why do you watch this dumb thing?"
Huh.
They were right.
It's not good. We made it cooler with the toys and our own adventures. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the guys who like figured out all the lore over at Marvel and shit, when they saw the cartoon, were like let down. You see the toys that made us? They're like, fuck.
No.
Yeah, they're like, it's a shame they didn't really make it into the. They just did whatever they wanted with that cartoon. Mm-hmm. I don't like live action anime. I don't want them making live action. It's like Street Fighter. I don't want a live action Street Fighter. You want to do it animated or possibly even a CGI animated, as long as it's artistic, fine. I don't want Street Fighter fucking looking realistic. Same with Death Note, Full Metal. It was meant to be drawings. The designs it just doesn't work.
You could go for a remake of Mortal Kombat.
Did you see the Spawn Kickstarter go up today?
No, for a movie.
No, they're redoing the original toy line. That'd be funny if it was for the movie, though, huh? Here's the weird thing about Alita, man. Is the fucking when they put Francis, the guy who played Francis in in Deadpool, when they put him on the CGI body, it looks flawless. Why they ever did this fake fucking CGI head, I'll never understand. For Alita, you know, like the roto work on the actual physical head on the CGI body is brilliant, but the fake head with the giant eyes don't fucking look right. It's like all the CGI people look weird, and then they got these people, their actual heads on there, and it looks just fine. It's like, why didn't they just fucking do that all the way through?
It really bothered me in the trailers, but once I got watched the movie, it didn't bother me so much once I got used to it.
I'm not saying it bothering me. I'm just saying that it's in the movie. It works already. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They have a version of it in the movie that works really well. Just do that.
Yeah.
You know? I don't understand. It's confusing to me. This part's tedious.
So you don't want to see a live action, is it Food Wars? The one that you love?
No. Just like I love my volleyball anime, Haikyuu. I don't want to watch a live action version of that. The animation, they're able to zoom in, slow down, do dynamic angles. We were talking about it earlier before you got on that they're able to create the feeling of having played the game, not capturing it as it exists in real life. You know? So could you imagine we're gonna make a realistic Fantasia? It's like, I don't want to see that.
I mean, it worked out pretty well when they did a realistic Super Mario.
Yeah. That worked out really well. James Cameron didn't do Elite, he produced it. The final decisions were up to Robert Rodriguez. So Robert Rodriguez gets to eat that decision. I mean, I've been waiting for Cameron to make that movie since the fucking 90s. Broke my fucking heart when he picked Robert fucking Rodriguez. It's the movie Tim Miller probably should have made instead of Terminator, you know?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
They should have let Robert Rodriguez fuck up Terminator and then let Tim Miller make Alita. What about the live action? I love the live action. I've been hoping one day Netflix will fucking just continue the Men in Suit. Go shoot down in New York, although that's not going to happen anytime soon.
No, Rob, because we got coronaviruses in the sewers.
Sucks. I don't care for the second or third. I only like the first Turtles movie. I didn't like the second one when it was new. I was like, yeah, I don't like this. It's not for
Was it
me.
just because of Vanilla Ice?
No, that's one of many things, but I didn't like them recasting April. I didn't like them removing the Henson from the company from the puppetry. The puppetry was because the Colossal set backwards, the set backwards, whatever that. What I'm thinking of. Step backwards. Thank you. I didn't like how a lot of it was shot on sound stages instead of out in actual New York. I didn't fucking need Keno. No Casey Jones. You know, a lot of things. Turtles don't use their weapons.
Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Kevin Eastman was also not happy they didn't use their weapons. Wait, they were actually working on an animated Super Mario Brothers movie, Armando?
Illumination is developing that.
Mm-hmm.
The Minions people. So that's some form of No, they haven't talked about it in over a year. So who knows where it's at right now, you know?
Yeah. I want to see a live action Minions movie. It's like a bunch of A bunch of midgets in minion suits.
Can't use that word anymore, bro.
Small people.
Showing your age.
Bunch of small people and, or wait, or we can't say minions.
Not yet. We can still do it. We can still,
Okay.
Minions is okay for now. Just don't want to get you in trouble. Just don't want to get you in trouble. Who knows?
Armando says it's scheduled for 2022.
He's looking at IMDb. There's no date.
Which, in theory, would mean they're like a year into production, because most CG movies are on a 3-year production cycle.
I'd be shocked if they had a completed script by now. With the way Nintendo works, I've had to work with Nintendo licensing. Just telling you, like, I'll believe that shit when I see it. And they're super picky over art styles, man. Super picky.
Yet somehow live action Mario got made.
That was one of the times they stayed out of it, and that's why. That's why. They're like, yeah, we probably shouldn't fucking stay out of it.
Yeah. That's the whole reason that we have Nintendo meddling.
What time is it? It's 12 o'clock.
Officially burning that midnight oil now.
I get another half hour.
So I'm not familiar with this character. Are these just color holds, or are they actual color of his armor and stuff?
What do you mean color hold? He has this color scheme. Yeah, I mean, I've done my own version of the armor. It's not a 1-to-1. You know.
Okay, I didn't know if you were just blocking in colors that you were then going to alter, or because normally when you do flats, break down like all the segments.
Oh, I don't need to do that, man. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, like selection flats. Yeah, when I'm coloring my own art, I don't need to do selection flats. I just use the lasso tool and intersect.
Okay.
So yeah, like when you're learning, selection flags help, and they really help if like changes are going to be made, but I ain't making no changes, so you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like if you had started rendering, then I'd be like, okay, those are the real colors. But since right now you're just kind of doing blocks of colors, and
These are color flats, they're
really-
just not selection flats.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is I'm trapping onto the lines, so the lines, I've set the lines up different colors and different effects so that I can get, it's not all black, you know, it's got a little bit more of an animation feel to it. But what I have to do is select the lines and then paint underneath. And then anywhere that I added shade in the lines, I have to also airbrush in some of that shade back so that the original inks are still there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little tedious.
When's this piece due?
It was due 4 months ago. I told him
Alright.
I was tapped out on this magazine shit back in October, bro.
Mm.
You know, and so I had hoped to have it done in January, but I just didn't fucking want to work on it, man. So they're already working on issue 10, you know.
Mhm.
They've gotten ahead of the curve, but it's like Chris was supposed to, the main guy, he's in the Air Force, he's ready to retire, but he was supposed to fucking get this work experience thing where he can, like, I can, under my company so that I can train him to do the magazine.
Mhm.
And their excuse for not approving it was he'd be working from home, and that's not an acceptable way to work. And now they're all working from home. Like, he's working from home for the Air Force, but he can't work from home to learn how to make a magazine. Right? Yeah, the irony is, yeah, it's fucking hilarious. And then I went and did that Turtles piece, which ate a month, you know. Didn't intend to, but it's the way it worked out.
Wait, which Turtles piece? Oh, yeah. That's right.
Which Turtles piece?
The video game one.
Yeah. The 100-hour fucking. If it was just the video games, it would have been done a lot quicker. Dude's supposed to be dark blue, but I'm going to have to change his color because it's just too similar. It wasn't that color in the game. I don't give a shit. It's too similar.
Drea, it is 12 o'clock in Idaho. Rob's got about 30 more minutes, he said.
Yeah.
Ish.
Ish.
25 minutes now, maybe. Unless he gets tired. Minutes.
No, I'll check it out. Hey, thanks, Trey. Appreciate it. Super awesome.
I didn't even know that was a thing. You could do like a
Yeah.
highlighted message or a
Yeah, tip.
animated image, or whatever.
Super appreciative.
Feed Rob some coffee in the morning.
Well, I ain't going nowhere. Where it go now? These days, it goes into my replenish the whole bean coffee purchase. I gotta make at the end of the month, you know.
Yes.
So it will get used for coffee, just not locally. I'm not risking my life for a cup of coffee.
I feel like it's been a while since we talked about any VR games or anything. Has there been anything cool that's come out lately?
Half-Life.
Half-Life?
Half-Life Alex, yeah, it's $60 though, so I'm gonna wait a little bit, but it's pretty amazing.
Well, once all this coronavirus stuff is over, I gotta come up to Idaho, check out your VR system, and get some cookies.
Oh yeah, most stuff, dude. If that place ain't around, I'll just make a fucking badass. I got the cookie recipe, bro.
Nice.
You would appreciate them. My barbershop, fucking, I always drop off like 2 dozen cookies. They fucking plow through them in a day.
You do want to keep the guy putting sharp objects near your head happy. Work out.
Yeah, but I mean, that's how I get my cardio right now is with the VR. So. I got a cool World War II RTS. It's you have to plug into my computer to play it. It's on the regular Rift store, but works great. Super fun. I'm not a big RTS guy, but in VR I love it. It's like having your own toys and shit that actually fucking move and animate. Dungeons and Dragons is where fucking VR is going. I mean, VR would be perfect for. Like just
That'd be pretty
tabletop,
cool.
yeah, just tabletop, you know.
Especially if they have a really great character designer in it to like customize your characters.
Yeah, it'd be super fucking awesome. I guess they all sold out because everyone's like, I'm in quarantine in VR. I'm like, same with Switches. I'm like, well, if you get this shit at launch, folks, you can have everything. Like everyone laughs at me for buying the shit at launch, and then they're all stuck in their homes, and I'm like, yeah, I already have all the shit. The drawing on this is super rough. I'm trying to do that now, like with things in the background. I want to keep them super rough so they're out of focus. You know, I'm like, yeah, it'll just be loose scribbles because it's out of focus. Yeah, I don't mean you have to get creative. I mean, just a really good D&D app would be awesome. Doesn't really exist right now. Should.
I watched my first video game Twitch stream
What game?
just the other day. 'Cause I'm not really a gamer, and so it doesn't make much sense for me to watch other people playing.
What game?
Are you sure you want to know, Rob?
Yeah, what game?
Animal Crossing.
Oh, that's not a game you watch people play though. Like, you know what you should watch if you really want to, because it's got a story. Is watch the Jedi Fallen Order because it's fairly cinematic, you know, and you'll get a good Star Wars story out of it, better than the movies.
But, that's not saying much, Rob.
It's
This
surprisingly watchable, bro. You know,
The Animal Crossing I was watching was better than the movies.
just saying.
I was only watching it because my buddy's girlfriend was streaming it. So I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. People are talking about this Animal Crossing. This would be a good chance for me to see what exactly it is people are going on about.
You should watch Uncharted, the Uncharted games. Those are
I
awesome.
don't actually want to watch video game streams.
Just letting you know, man. It's a good story there.
Yeah, I don't want to watch them. I had enough watching video games when I was a kid, and I'd watch other people play video games, be like, oh man, I wish I could play.
Some games I prefer it that way.
On the plus side, after watching it, I was like, all right, well, definitely not something I need to own.
It's not for you. You would have enjoyed it. I think games like Portal and Half-Life, Uncharted.
Possibly.
If you like Nathan Fillion, you'll like Uncharted.
Okay. Sold.
They pretty much base it off him to the point where he did his own fucking Uncharted fan film. It's great. It's the best fan film ever made. It's like, I just want a series of Nathan Fillion as fucking Nathan Drake. We're two white dudes hanging out. You're the wrong channel if you're against two white dudes hanging out. Brandon is a white dude too.
Well, they may
all
not
my
be
friends of color won't come on the streams, by the way. Like, I invite them. They're like, no. I'm like, what? You ashamed of me or something? Like, they won't come, Kyle.
Yeah. Brandon and I have no shame, so that must be why.
Possibly. Yeah, Sony could make that shitty movie. I was just hoping that they would fund the like they would do like let them do a web series with Nathan Fillion. But at least we got that fan film. He got Nathan Lane to be his fucking this other character too. That's a cool little. It's the best video game movie ever made. Hey man, there's a young Nathan Drake in Uncharted 4. It's fine as a flashback. If they want to put Nathan Fillion as older Drake and have Tom Holland be the younger Drake in the same movie like they did The Last Crusade, then I'd be fine with that. But just making a young Nathan Drake movie is like, I'm as interested in that as I am as a young Indiana Jones movie. I just don't care. Yeah.
Where are you, Armando? Ah,
Yeah, but you guys get the movies a week early anyway. All my friends who would like live in Mexico and I worked in San Diego would be like, I watched it last week. You know, like thanks. You know, appreciate it. Of course, now it probably doesn't matter, but alrighty.
did Onward even get a release in Mexico? 'Cause it was
Mhm.
only out here 2 weeks before everything shut down, so I don't know if it had gone wide in all the other countries yet or not.
I don't know.
I guess I was asking Armando. Figured he'd know since he's down there.
Hmm.
Yeah, then he doesn't have Disney Plus, so obviously he can't stream it on there now.
Get a VPN and log into Disney Plus in America.
Yeah. Onward was the last movie I saw in the theater.
So the last movie was on theater was Sonic the Hedgehog. I never knew Sonic might be the last movie I ever seen in theater.
I don't think it will, Armando. Video game movies are not well loved by the voters, the Academy, even if it was really good VFX.
They didn't want to nominate The Dark Knight. They sure as shit ain't nominating Sonic the fucking Hedgehog.
Though if nothing else comes out this year, maybe it will have a chance. Well, you'll have new Wonder Woman, which will probably have a lot of VFX in it before the year's out. Dune. That's all in post, so they're probably still working on that.
That ain't coming out this year.
You don't think so?
Nope.
Maybe, maybe not. Some of them, Armando, are ready. Just it varies. I mean, some movies they're working on it up until like the day before it drops into theater. The other ones done months ahead of time. So it's a wide spectrum. I mean, Dune's far enough out that it's probably a lot of work to be done, like post work and VFX for that. Whereas like the new James Bond was probably that was completed since it was due to be out by now, I think. And it just got pushed back. Quiet Place 2 was probably all done. So Wonder Woman, I would guess, wasn't done. They're probably still working on VFX, but that got pushed back from the summer till end of the year. I think it's still this year. It's coming out.
Yeah, I don't believe any of it. Whatever movie was supposed to come out this month is coming out 12 months from now, whether they think it or not. At a minimum. All right, everybody, this is as far as I can get tonight. So I will continue flats tomorrow.
All right, Rob. It's fun chatting.
It's fun chatting, everybody.
Thanks, everybody, for hanging out, asking questions.
Yeah, it was a good chat. It was good times. Good times. Good times. Good times. I mean, where is OBS? Where are you? There you are. Everybody, I'll be back on tomorrow. Peace.